Superior tech!
Welcome back to Superior Tech. This is Respecugnize, and we're going to continue with our break from what we normally do. If this is your first video, normally what I do is I just pick a character and then we go through what happens when you hit the buttons, and then how to play that character, and then kind of how to play against that character, and then set you off on your way. I've taken a break from that because as I play more competitive and I get more serious about it and leading the team, I've started to notice some trends in the game that are troubling for me as one who is investing time. And if you're here watching these videos, then of course you're either a person that does a lot of research when you're getting into something, or you're someone that has kind of hit a wall and you're looking for some advantages, or maybe what you're doing wrong, and you don't have the chance to have someone like watching your games and stuff like that. So I'm trying to fill that gap. That's normally what I do. But as of the last couple of videos, because of the problems that I just talked about, I have decided to take a slight jog in another direction, which is just giving what the fundamentals of the game are, what is going to become common sense to you, and things that hopefully have that aha moment and the light bulb goes off over your head, and then you take another direction and get better. So we've had these videos that I've done in the last week, and I've said the word situational awareness a lot. And so let me go a little bit more and explain that as far as the three things in Overwatch that really matter, because Overwatch is not your typical shooter. It is more a strategic shooter, meaning while everyone feels that the reason they're not doing well or the reason they didn't win is going to boil down to, well, I pulled the trigger and I missed, or, I left clicked, or I hit whatever button it is that you have for fire on your joypad or your gamepad or your keyboard or your mouse or whatever you're doing. So it seems very simple in context. You just boil it down, put the center of the screen, which is where the reticle is, on the head of an enemy and hit the fire button, and you got it. Because of course in most shooters, headshots give you more damage. So obviously if I don't hit characters, I'm not going to do damage. If I'm not doing damage, I'm not going to win. And this is really going more towards the DPS players, especially those hit scan players, right? So that's not true. And as you can hear me say in a lot of videos, if you don't believe me, then I insert whatever. So you don't have to believe me. Let's look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie. So pause the video right here, or after I stop talking, actually. Go get a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen or whatever you're going to write with. And if you want to check my numbers, you get a calculator. But trust me, I'm a numbers guy. So pause and go get that. I'll wait. Okay, you should be back by now because that's the magic of pausing. If you did not go get pen and paper, that's fine. I don't want to waste your time. So let's look at some numbers. There's three really big sections of Overwatch, and you don't have to write this part down. I'll tell you when you actually start writing. But basically, it's going to be your wherewithal. That's the big one. Where you are, your positioning in the game. After that is going to be your strategic awareness, or your situational awareness, which is going to be your knowledge of what to do with that. And then after that is going to be your actual ability to hit, your aim, your targeting, or whatever. And they go in order from there. And that's unarguable. And let me prove it to you. So this is where you're going to get your pen and paper, or this is where you're going to start listening and have that aha moment. So let's say we had 100 opportunities. This is if you were just the god of Overwatch. You were the best player on the planet. You were omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient with Overwatch, meaning you knew everything, you could see everything, and you were going to be everywhere. Those 100 positions, and we're picking 100 because it's an easy number to deal with. Let's say you had 100 opportunities if you were perfect. And of that, you're a really good position you're a good positional player. Let's say you had 75% of the time you had the position. And so let me explain position. Position is knowing where your character, based upon how it works, needs to be. So a hit scan character, meaning having that angle where you get the drop on somebody, and really good players know what I'm talking about automatically, and other players, you're going to learn it as you continue to pay attention and learn. Uh, so that would give you 75 chances to get the kill. So you're already down a little, but 75% is pretty good. So from that, your positioning, you're going to get into your knowledge of the game, or strategic awareness, or situational awareness, meaning knowing what to actually do to execute, meaning what weapon choice to use. And we're going to get very Overwatch specific with this, but it goes on to other games. So meaning if you have character, whatever character is in front of you, knowing what they could do to kill you or to evade you killing them, and what tool you need to use to do it. So let's look at McCree, because he's going to be your quintessential hit scan character, basically. And let's say you have a Brigitte in front of you. You are in the position to get the kill, and now you have to use the right tools. So knowing how to throw the flashbang to the side of her to get past her shield, to get the stun, and then knowing that you can get a headshot and then fan the hammer, roll to reload your gun, and fan the hammer. So let's say you have about half proficiency in strategic awareness and strategic knowledge. Now you're down to 37.5. That's your chance to get the kill. Let's say your aim is 25%, which seems like a low number, but on average, good players typically get somewhere in the 30s or 40s. That's actually pretty good for Overwatch, because of the way you move and the way they move. They're not just going to stand there and let you shoot them and things like that. And with a hit scan character, a McCree, a soldier, especially with his Blossom, the way if you shoot more than 3, the bullets start to stray. That's 25% is not super great, but it's not totally abysmal. So don't let the number throw you. That would mean that you would get about 9.37 kills. So that's if you're looking at your player cards at the end, see how many kills you're getting. Honestly, as a character that's going up, that's not going to get you into contenders, and it's definitely not going to get you pro. But for a starting player, that's not too bad. And if you're running one of the supports or something like that, where you're not really supposed to be killing, you're kind of supposed to be healing or blocking or something like that, then 9.37 is that's not too bad. Okay, so let's look at the numbers on the flip side. We're just going to flip the numbers. And of course, we know automatically, because we've done that, we're going to get to the same answer. But let's look at the way the numbers roll differently. Out of that 100 chances, let's say you've only got 25% in your positioning. And guys, I'll give you a hint. The biggest thing that's going to swing positioning is if you're dead or not. If you are dead, you miss 100% of the shots, because you're not there to take them, and you're running back and things like that. And it's a game of time. It's chronological. That's why this is a strategic shooter, not just a shooter. So out of the 100, you're only in position 25% of the time. That only gives you 25 chances to hit at all. Then we're going to take into account the same 50% of your wherewithal, your knowledge of what to do when you're in that position. You are now at 12.5. That's the maximum kills you can get if you were 100% in your aim, but you're not. So looking at those numbers different, on the other side, with 75% position and 50% knowledge, you were at 37.5 kills before we took into effect your aim at 25%. At this point, with 25% positioning and 50% knowledge, that same knowledge base of what to do as far as knowing your character, probably because you watch a lot of superior tech videos, then you're at 12.5. So let's put your aim now. You would have to hit 75% of your shots to get those same 9.37. So the point of this is your aim is something that's going to take a lot of time and energy to get good at. So looking at aim between 25 and 75, 75% accuracy is going to put you up there. That's getting into contenders numbers, and arguably that's going to get you into pro numbers, right? 75, you hit 75% of your shots, especially if you're the hit scan character like Widowmaker. 75% scope accuracy. That's not bad at all. You're almost there. You know, you're doing really good. So the effort to get your shots up to 75%, that's going to take way more effort than getting your shots to 25%, right? You know, pro players drunk would probably hit the 25%, you know, if they were just completely drunk. So let's play around with those numbers a little more. Let's get crazier with them. Let's look at it as the same 100 chances if you're really good. Let's put our positioning once again at 75%. So your positioning is 75%. You're still getting 75 of those shots. And I'm doing this quickly in my head, guys. So check me. I was joking before. You should check. I'm a numbers guy, but you should check me. So let's say then we had only 25. Let's say we had like 25% of the knowledge, right? We're kind of low on that. Then we're down to 18.75, somewhere around there. So about 19. And then our hits are 30%. So we're going to go up to about an average of a decent player. 30% of your shots you're going to hit with a hit scan character. You're at 5.62. Yeah, about 5.62 is where your hits are. So you've killed 5.62 people. So 5.6 people. So 5 people. Or we can round it up to 6. Let's say instead your numbers were higher. Let's say you're back at that 75% of your hits. Let's say you're just a really good player again. You've played all types of shooters and you can put that crosshair on a head and you can get the shot. Then you've gone from 5.62 to 14.06. So you got 14 kills. We're not going to round that one up. All right, so let's look at the numbers again. Let's go with 50 of your positioning. So half of the time you're in the right place. And you have that 25% knowledge. From there, you'd be at 12.5. And 30% of the time you hit the shots, that same 30%, you're at 3.75. So right there, dropping your positioning 25% from 75 to 50, and then keeping the same knowledge base, you're already down to 12.5 versus 18.75 before you take the shots. The same shooter with the same ability, 30, okay, shooting, you go from killing 5.6, so 6 people, to killing 3.75 to killing 4 people. And then let's say we made your shooting 75, you're just a really great shot. Then in the second one with 50% positioning, you're down 9.37 shots. So looking at the numbers quickly, because that is a lot of numbers and you may not be a number person, let's just do it quickly again. If you had 100 chances to kill, and you were in the right position 75% of the time, no, meaning you knew where to stand, you knew where the angles are, you know where they're going to come from, and then you were decent at knowing how to kill people as far as what weapons to use, and you were a great shot, you would kill 14 people. Take 25% away from knowing where to stand. So now you're at 50%. And then going through all the same numbers, you're still able to decipher weapons the same, but you're an amazing shot. You're still only going to kill 9.37 people. So see right there, by the numbers, it's where you're at. First of all, first and foremost, be alive. Being alive more than being dead right away is going to make you a more effective player. That's more important, not throwing your life away. The second most important thing is knowing what weapons do what and how. And so right there, that's telling you why I'm making the videos. Knowing what those buttons do and knowing where to stand, where to launch your attacks from, and things like that are way more important than you going to your Flash sites or your Java sites and learning how to move a little X over a target and pressing left mouse button or right mouse button or B or A or whatever button you have. So it's more important to know where the angles are. So if you go look at the previous video where we were playing around on Route 66 with the Autobots, and I was, really standing on my soapbox saying, well, it's more important to know that this curve here coming around, it's more important to hold the gas station because those angles give you more opportunities than if you're standing in this straight line with pure line of sight between you and the other enemy, except they have this big thing to stand behind, the cart, which is healing them and moving forward and taking the real estate that it takes to win the game, or the wrecked trains. And it's more important to know that and to be able to do that than the hit. And so I wasn't quite giving the numbers. It was just talking about situational awareness, and also like the cart has so many meters to move here. These are where the enemy team can come from the flank. These are where the health packets are. That's that situational awareness. That's that wherewithal that's important in this game, because it is not a pure shooter like other things where it really does matter more than anything that you can take a shot. Now, I would argue that if we look at the numbers in other games, it's probably pretty similar, but I'm just talking about Overwatch here specifically. Being alive, standing in the right place, and knowing where the enemy is going to come from, and also where to get your health and where the rest of your team is far more important than you spending 5 or 6 hours a day going to these drill sites, or even going against my own word, maybe, or what I was saying, the Autobot drills. Once again, the Autobot drills are really great for getting your hit percentage up, but your hit percentage is not as important as knowing the map. And so I'm not going to be any more redundant than that. Just take my word for it, or just listen to the numbers. Go run them yourself. That's all there is to this game. Be in the right place, know what your buttons do, know what their buttons do, and worry about hitting last. If you're gonna say, well, I see the pros, I've talked to pros, or I've watched questions with them, and I've seen videos and stream or whatever with them going and doing hit drills, then the answer is this: they've already done everything else that I've talked about. So these players have gone through and they've just played skirmish after skirmish. They came out of contenders, which means they've got hundreds, if not thousands of hours at this point in this game. They've got years in, and they're masters of it. They know they know what a character can do and what a character can't do. They know the maps because the maps really haven't changed. They know the health pack. They know everything they can hear things and know what is going on. They can hear a character die. Trust me. They can listen while they're playing. They're listening to the game. They know when their characters on their side have hit ults. They know when characters on their side have died. They know when enemies on the other side have died because they can hear the audible. Every character screams when they die. They can look at the kill feed at the top right. They're situationally aware. They're hitting tab to see who's up and down, who's on fire, who's doing well, what the character picks are. They've mastered all of those things that I'm talking about, that wherewithal and situational awareness, the knowledge and the positioning. all that's left for them to do is start increasing the hit proficiency or their percentage of hits. And they know also that that's going to take a lot of time. Your knowledge right now, if you've never done what I did in the other video, which is make an Onabot enemy group that can't kill you and just run around the map memorizing it, if you haven't done that, doing it once automatically increases, by the numbers we just went over, automatically increases your kill proficiency just astronomically. A couple of times of doing that, going through it and actually memorizing, let's say if you spent 15-20 minutes doing it, you're automatically, by these numbers, a better killer and a better player and more opportunistic than if you spend 2 hours looking at little crosshairs and little things moving around the maps. You don't have to take my word for it. The numbers have just shown you. So we're going to make one more video like this. I'm going to forewarn, the video Thursday is going to be a little rough. It may be a little late. There's a lot of things going on. We're going into some last phases in real world, doing some stuff there. And also, as some of you know, rebuilding a house by hand by myself and things like that, because that's what I want to do. So that's going to be a little late, but I promise to get it to you. We'll probably do another video like this where it's just things going on in the background, like you've just been watching random clips and things like that, but some information, and then we will go back into finishing off the roster for Overwatch so you can get that second part, which is the knowledge of how to play with and against the characters. So that's it, guys. Go out there, learn the map, situational awareness, positioning knowledge, and don't worry that much about how much you hit or your ability to line those crosshairs up until then. So till next time, guys, have fun and enjoy it. Remember, if I made a mistake or had an issue in which I did not hear, unless I just did some numbers wrong, then go ahead and send me a message here on YouTube, an email. I'm trying to think of another creative way to get information from me. Try it telepathically. Try to just concentrate real hard and get that information to me. And then after that probably fails, then just go send an email, a message, or whatever. Having a lot of fun making these videos. It is work, but people are starting to say that they enjoy them and they're doing a lot better because of them. And also make sure to remember to check me out on Twitch. Really having a lot of fun building my community out there and grinding the road to affiliate. And we've only been doing this for a couple of weeks, but we're doing pretty well there. Just need a couple more people so that we can actually get affiliates. We're so close, and we'll get there so fast as what the other streamers are telling me, that we're actually doing a really good job and we're getting there faster than most. So till next time, have fun, guys.
Respecugnize game when I get on the move. Respecugnize game on Twitch and YouTube. Respecugnize, we the cool for the new and old school. I'ma show you how to do it when I do it so smooth. Respecugnize the truth, respecugnize the new online game time, game on 2 group. Overwatch the PUBG, shooter stats.